I am not needed. I am dispensable. Life is fluid and finite and short. These are some of the reflections that have come to my mind over the past week or two. Now I'm fully moved into my cave from the studio. Everything's done. And it's been pretty interesting observing some of the thoughts and feelings that have come up. It's been challenging and rewarding at times. And this thought popped in my head of being dispensable and being valuable are not mutually exclusive. And I started thinking about that. Being dispensable in certain contexts as a significant other, family member, employee, community member, whatever it might be, that doesn't reflect your value as a human or your values as a human. It's not an indictment of your character, or it's not a judgment of who you are. It just means in this context, you're not needed. And that can be kind of empowering. Looking back and I'm thinking through my life and thinking I've never been needed. I've never been needed by anybody, by any organization. And thinking that way can sometimes not feel great, because we want to feel like we're contributing and then we're valuable. And somehow thinking I'm not needed makes us feel less valuable, but that's not the case. If you think about a relationship with someone, so you have a life partner, if you're needed, doesn't that make your relationship less valuable? It comes from a place of need, not want or love. I've had people say to me before, I need you. And I don't just say, no you don't. Usually it's, I'm here to support you and help you and care for you. But you don't need anyone. You need people in your life. No one person is someone you need. You're independent and strong and resilient. So it's interesting to think about. And sometimes our brains can take us in a different direction with that. Like I was sitting here frustrated by a lot of things and thinking I'm not needed anywhere. No one needs me. I'm not a priority in anyone's life. And while maybe that's true, that's okay. That's empowering. I have a lot of freedom. I don't have to feel compelled to do or say or be attached to certain things if I recognize that I'm not actually needed. I'm dispensable in a number of roles. And that's kind of cool. And really, as a coach, as a teacher, that's what I aspire to be. Someone people can learn from, someone who can empower people to take care of themselves so that they don't need someone else, but they could still choose to work with me, to spend time with me, to be in a relationship with me in some way. And the choice is what's powerful. If someone believes they truly need you, it's not a choice. It's the perception of need. If someone recognizes they do not need you at all, but they choose to make you a priority in their life, that's pretty cool. That's much more powerful. So while I think our ego at times can want to hear that we're needed, that's not really what we want. At least the way I see it. So I'm excited in certain ways. Excuse my French. It's been a pretty fucked year, and sometimes it's hard to deal with. Sitting down here in the dark in my cave, hearing noise from above, not having the same privacy or the same space. But I can also recognize right now I have nothing tying me down anywhere. I could do anything aside from leave the country for now because of the pandemic. But every challenge brings with it far more opportunities. And sometimes it takes a little effort to look and see them. And we're going to have the moments of being upset. I was just on Clayton Weekly's podcast earlier today, and I was talking to him about an evening I was painting the floor here, and it was so frustrating. Everything was taking between 2 and 10 times as long as I expected. I was hand painting, dabbing little spots, and I was at the absolute end of my rope, and I wanted to disappear. I didn't want to be anywhere. But that moment passed. I was able to be present in that moment. I woke up the next day feeling better, and I could look at the progress I'd made by the end of the week. And that's just a little microcosm of how things can sometimes go. Our momentary feelings can seem like they'll last forever. It's hard to imagine being out of there, especially when we're in this feeling of overwhelm and despair, or stress, or happiness. Sometimes we can get happy, and it feels like it's never going to leave us. And if we expect that to happen, that can be challenging. Just like if we expect to be needed. You don't need anybody. You don't need to be needed. Yeah. It's empowering if you think about it through the right lens, through the right color. I didn't notice that was doing that until just now. Yeah. If you're watching this, I appreciate you very much. And I would encourage you to spend some time just thinking about thinking. Thinking about what you really need, and thinking about what areas of your life you might perceive need when really you have more of a choice than you think. Thank you.